Well, thank you for joining us, Miss Felicia Brown. I got a semi room full here at Velma Jackson High School, and we're recording this for our friends at Rosa Scott, Ridgeland High School, and Germantown High School, and also for our YouTube channel. So we are in the marketing, sales, and service career cluster, which I know you know quite a bit about. We've talked about how it can be lucrative, but it does take skills. And I'll let you have the floor. But to me, and I'm sure you agree, right now in the United States, if you can sell something, you can find a job and you can make a good salary. So
Exactly.
if you learn the craft and learn the business, it is something that you can make a lot of money doing that you don't necessarily need a whole lot of college education to get into. And I know that firsthand. And I know you also have your hand in other business ventures. You're an entrepreneur as well. But you are a professional salesperson, which let's be honest, we don't see a whole lot of Black female salespeople. There are very few, and you're a pioneer to an extent in that field, and you have a great background on that, and we're looking forward to hearing what you had to share with us today.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak with your class today. I'm very excited. As always, anytime I can share a little knowledge on, career choices or whatnot, I'm always happy to do so. So just to kind of give you a little background of myself, I've been in sales now over 20 years. So I've got about 20 years worth of sales experience. And honestly, regardless of what type of job you have, really, sales is implicated in some form or fashion.
Absolutely.
That's just how it is. And so there are a couple of key points that I would love to share with your students.
Sure.
And as far as if they ever decide that that's something that they want to venture into, like I said, I have a couple of key points that I'd like to touch bases on, and I have some information that I'd like to share also.
Sure.
So right now, I currently work as a sales marketing account executive for WDBD Fox 40, which is one of the local TV stations here in the Jackson, Mississippi market. And so basically, my primary job is to reach out to people that have their own business and help them with marketing campaigns, help them to create exposure for their business. So anyone that has a product or a service that they need people to be aware of, that's where I come into play. And so my job is pretty cool because I get a chance to meet a lot of different people. I meet people of all different backgrounds. I've had clients that own maybe a massage parlor, or maybe they are an attorney, or they own a car dealership. Like I said, anytime that you have a service or a product, sales is involved in that. And so my goal is to reach out to clients and just, assist them with their marketing and advertising needs. And so basically, in working with Fox 40, with the television station, it's a very fun job. We get to assist the clients, and if they decide that they do want to advertise with us, then we help them from start to finish. We help them create their commercials, which includes a script that they would need to, wow. Yes, it includes the script that we can assist them with. And my main goal is, when I reach out to a client, I always explain to them the importance of the creative and the message. And so basically, the creative and the message is what's most important, because it has to grab the consumer's attention. So it has to be catchy, it has to be informative, and it has to also possess a need. Like with my clients, like I explained to them, when your commercial airs on our station, I want someone that's sitting at home to see your commercial and automatically say, oh, wow, I need that. And that's how you get the phones ringing. And so basically, as far as in sales and marketing, you have to know your product. You have to know what you're selling. You have to know the benefits and the features of your product. You can't sell something if you don't know what you're selling. And so basically, with me selling for Fox 40, I have to know and be aware of my product. One of the things that I always mention to my clients, and they don't know this, is that, we're a broadcast station, but we're mandated by the government to be in everybody's household. So you have some people that may have direct TV at their house. They may have Dish, Well, you don't have to have any of that to be on Fox 40, because regardless of whether you have Dish Direct or you stream from the internet or you have an $8 antenna at home, you can still pick up our station crystal clear.
Yep.
So that's a little bit of knowing, what I sell. And a lot of times they don't know that. I also have to explain to them how far our service reaches. So if we're located here in Jackson, then a client that has a business in Macomb, he needs to know that if he advertises with us, someone in Macomb will see his commercial on our station.
Yep.
And I also have to encourage people that and let them know that, we are a full power broadcast station, and that, give them the reasons why they need to be watching Fox 40. And so I've got a little bit of information that I would like to share. And I'm going to share my screen now.
And I would think also, knowing the programming schedule, because obviously during NFL football, you're going to want the businesses that gear toward football fans to advertise, and then during the reality, like the reality the Masked Singer and all these other big reality shows, you want the companies that would gear toward that market to advertise. So I think knowing that is also a big skill you would need.
It is, because like, for instance, with the Masked Singer, that's considered a family-oriented programming.
Yep.
So basically, any client that I would target would be someone maybe that has small children, like for a daycare service, people that, need someone to keep their kids during the day. If that lets you know that they have children in the household, the Masked Singer is one of our most popular shows. So therefore, you have, the right programming that client needs for his target audience.
Absolutely.
Or his demo.
Yep.
As far as our NFL, when it comes to our NFL, we have the best NFL in the market. We are the syndicator for the Saints, the New Orleans Saints. So we get a good deal of the New Orleans Saints games, but like, we actually have Super Bowl next year. So right now we're getting geared up. Everybody like WJTV, if I'm not mistaken, had the Super Bowl last month. So all of the commercials that were inside the Super Bowl last month, local clients especially, we're actually gearing up to reach out to them now to let them know, like, look, hey, we've got the Super Bowl next year. We're going to work up some packages for you. And, we'd love for you to air in our Super Bowl. So it's like a moving target, because you never stop reaching out or looking for clients that could benefit from advertising on Fox 40. And one thing that I do, when I ride like on the interstate, I look at billboards. I listen to the radio, because when I see different businesses advertising on the billboards and on the radio, that lets me know, what, that's an opportunity for me to reach out to them, to let them know that, look, hey, we can give you so much more if you would advertise a schedule with us on Fox 40 by creating a commercial. So that all of that kind of goes into knowing your product, knowing your product. The next thing I would like to say is having confidence and having tough skin, because you're not going to always get a yes in sales. You're gonna get some no's, but you have to be persistent and you have to be consistent in your approach every day. So knowing your product, being confident in what you're selling is very, very important. It's very important. And like I said, you're going to get some no's sometime, and that's okay. But being able to overcome the objection, like if you have a client, there have been times when I've had a client that has been like, well, no, I don't think that we have the money to do any television advertising. Well, after I've done my research, I'm like, well, Mr. Customer, I noticed that you have a billboard on Interstate 55. And honestly, when I saw it, I didn't even get a chance to see everything that was on it because I passed by it so fast. I said, so, you're really missing a lot of potential customers because they can't really see the billboard. How about you take the money that you're spending on that billboard, invest it into Fox 40. Let me create a campaign for you that would include a 30-second commercial that would be listed in households in 24 counties. And, when I was able to explain it to him in that perspective, it was like the light bulb went off. He's like, you know what? I never thought about that. So, you have to have ways, you have to know how to overcome objection, and you have to be confident in what you're selling. And you also have to make that client know that they have a need for your service. And so the next slide that I want to share, this basically gives you an overview of all of the counties that get our signal. So all of the counties that are highlighted in blue and highlighted in white, that's our market, that's our area, our market area. So if anyone was to get a commercial through Fox 40, if they lived in any of those counties that are highlighted, they would see our commercial.
Now, that's some cities. So you got Natchez, you got Vicksburg, Macomb,
Right.
Haven, Carthage.
Exactly. And see, and another thing, what I do, because we have several news stations here in Jackson. What I like to do is I like to visit some of the counties that are located in blue, like maybe Franklin County. Like I was actually in Walthall County earlier this week. And what I do is I like to go to those smaller counties and those different areas outside of the Jackson area and, reach out to small businesses in those areas because they need advertising as well. And so I never limit myself on where I seek potential clients. One day I may, be in Madison, or I may be in Claiborne County. It's just, when it comes to sales, you can't limit yourself. You have to be able to go out and get the business. And a lot of times that means me just walking into a business with my business card and just spiking up a conversation to ask that customer, have you ever thought about advertising before? Well, let me show you how I can help you, maybe increase traffic in your store and get you some more business. And, business owners are always, always anxious to hear that, because if it's a way to help them get more money and more customers into their business, then it's a win-win situation for them.
Yeah, and right before you came on, we said the same thing, because you can have a great product, you can have a great store, you can have great customer service, but if you can't sell it, nobody gets paid.
Exactly. You are absolutely correct. That is so true. And so basically, this kit, the slides that I'm showing you right now, this is basically what I always take with me when I go to visit a client, a potential client, or someone that I've set an appointment up with. And this same information, I have talked to churches about advertising, because believe it or not, churches, that is a business. They need marketing too, because they need new members to come into their church on Sundays. So I never limit myself from the different categories of business, whether it's a dog groomer, it's a church, funeral homes, plumbers, anybody that you can think of that has a service or a product that is needed, they can advertise, and they can benefit from having an effective marketing plan.
Wow.
And so basically, the next slide list our news team. And so the fun thing about it is working in the TV station, my office is actually right down the hall from the news studio. So there are times when I'm at work and I can actually see the newscast on air, on live. And it's really neat to do. It's really neat. It's a really cool experience. But we have our morning news, which is from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning. And we have our late news, which is from 9 to 10 in the evening time. And I'm sure a lot of your parents probably watch our 9 o'clock news because it comes on an hour earlier. And if you're old like me, you like to go to bed fairly early. So you want to catch the news to see what the weather's going to be like the next day. You want to get that fairly early and not wait till 10 o'clock, because 10 o'clock is when the majority of the other TV stations are airing their newscasts. And so another thing too is Fox Sports. Like I said, when it comes to sports, we dominate the market with sports. We have college football, we have NFL, we have preseason, we have college basketball, we have NASCAR, we have the World Series. You name it, Fox 40, we are sports. And this is it's so fun selling this, because believe it or not, even here in the South, or right here in our area, there are just as many women that get excited about like football as there are males. Yep. So, and we are predominantly a Saints and Dallas Cowboys territory. So, it's always a lot of fun to get involved with clients when they might be a Dallas fan and I'm a Saints fan, and, we get to talking a little smash talk or whatever, but it's all in fun. But, basically selling our sports is really fun because we have it year round. Like right now, we even had our playoffs that ended in January. Now we're going into the spring, which is we've got soccer, no, not soccer, we've got bowling, and we've got NASCAR. And then summertime we'll have soccer, we'll have Major League Baseball,
And
World
golf.
Series, and golf. Yeah. So, you know, and the thing about it, even with our sports, this is when we have the opportunity to make the most money. So basically, a spot in our Saints game averages about $3,500. So there are clients that will pay $3,500 for one 30-second commercial in a Saints game. And so that's where it gets into being a lucrative career, because you really, in sales, you really can, and I'm 100% commission. I can really determine how much money I want to make in my pocket. And
Wow.
this job, working for the TV station, it is a easy 6-figure job.
Wow.
You can make 6 figures easily in this job. Being able to, again, like I say, know your product, being lucrative, being confident in what you're selling, and just being able to target the clients and keep them interested in what you have to sell and what you have to offer. And so the last slide that I have is also, this is our sales team. And so we kind of like to say, we have a lot of girl power at our station, because our general manager is Miss Ramona Alexander. She is from Jackson, Mississippi, graduated from Jackson State. When I say she's one of the best bosses I've ever had to work with, her and my sales manager, Miss Stacy Eves, I couldn't ask for a better boss. They let us work our own schedule. Our schedules are very flexible. Since the pandemic started, we've really been working from home since 2020. We'll probably be going back into the office pretty soon, but our sales staff is the best that there is. We're very supportive of each other, and that makes all of the difference too. There's nothing, there's been times when I've been on sales calls trying to get new business or getting clients to sign up, and I might have my general manager with me, and she makes herself available to the clients. She'll easily give them her cell phone number. Like, if there's something that you need, give me a call. I don't mind. So we're all hands on, and our clients really do appreciate that. And that was another thing that I wanted to touch bases on as well. Anytime you're working in sales, you always want to exceed the customer or the client's expectations.
Yep.
Always over deliver, never under deliver. If you over deliver and you exceed the customer's expectations, you'll build not only trust with that client, but you'll have a client for as long as you need to have a client, because they'll always know that you're going to take care of them. It's no problem for me to go into our inventory, and if I see an opportunity to add my client or give them an upsell or give them a bonus spot in, like, the Masked Singer, free of charge, I'll do that. Once I know that it's cleared and it actually did air, I'll call them up and I'll let them know, well, look, I upgraded you last night into the Masked Singer. And they really, really do appreciate that, because I want their business to be successful too, because at the end of the day, I'm only as successful as they are, especially if they entrust me to help them with their marketing campaign. And so that is very important, to always know to exceed your customer's expectation. And I'm also going to I have a program grid here too that I'm going to share with you also, because in addition to WDBD, we also have 2 other stations that we sell on, and that's Antenna TV and WLOO. Now, WLOO is a station that is owned by Tougaloo College. However, we sell for them, so clients can air their commercials on WLOO. I'm going to see if I can pull that grid up real quick. Just one moment.
Now, while you're pulling that up, one thing I talked about before you came on is that, even if you don't want to be a full-time salesperson, these sales skills transfer into so many industries.
Oh, yes.
So, why are these companies looking for these sales skills for people coming out of high school and college?
You said, why are they?
Yes.
Why are they looking for, repeat that question one more
Why,
time?
why are these companies looking for sales skills for these students coming out of high school and college?
Well, I think it's because basically they want people, you know, in order to be an effective salesperson, you have to have confidence. You have to be able to you know, you have to be able to not be scared to talk to people. I mean, they want someone that's not afraid to go after the business, and that's an asset to them. That's an asset. So let's see. A second. I am trying to find that programming grid. Just one moment. I had everything that I needed. I had it all listed right here, but it kind of got away from me. Let's see. Okay. And one thing about it too, you don't have to have a college degree is not required. I mean, you can still make a six-figure salary in this industry without having a college degree. And I think that's one thing that people don't really, they're not really, you know, they're not really aware of. So that's very important to know. And so like this right here, this is a program grid. And this kind of gives a breakdown of all of the programming that is aired on our station throughout the day. And so I take this with me also, in addition to the media kit that I just shared with you all. But it just lists like all of the programming that we have on our station from Monday through Sunday, from 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. the next day. So basically, if you look at it, you see we've got at 4 o'clock, we have programming that starts. And generally in that time period, from like 4 to 7 you have the prices is like maybe $5 a spot. And then from like 7 to 9, as it gets more into the day and later into the hours, the rates go up. And it goes up because more people are at home watching television together after, say, maybe 5 p.m. into the night. And so the rates are a little higher than then. But like I said, this is all about how much money you want to make, because I can negotiate rates with my clients. And if I want to sell our 9 o'clock news for $200 a spot, then I can pretty much do that. And so, like I said, I've been doing this now with Fox 40 going on 8 years. Wow. And so it's been a very fun career for me. I really enjoy what I'm doing. A lot of times, you know, we get invited to a lot of things that go on in the city. That's one of the perks for working for the television station, because we sponsor a lot of events as well. But this is just a breakdown to show everything that we air on our station. And then on Sundays, we have our animation domination. And that's where we have the Family Guy, the Simpsons, Bob's Burgers. We have those type of programmings, and we have Blackish, and we also have Young Sheldon. And those programs do very, very well on our station. So let's see. I'm gonna see if I can find the WLOO grid also.
And now, while you're pulling that up, what is your educational background before you got into sales full time?
Well, but actually, and believe this or not, I graduated from high school in '97, and I went to Alcorn State University. And so I was a mass communications major because I had dreams of becoming the next Miss Maggie Wade. And I wanted to be a news anchor woman. That's what I wanted to go to school for. And so then as I was at Alcorn, I realized, I was like, well, you know what? It's probably, you know, I may need to change my major, because the possibility of landing a job right now, it probably just wouldn't work out. So I changed my major. And I ended up graduating from Jackson State University with a bachelor in business. And what's so crazy about it is I always worked in finance and banking, and that sales also. And so I had most of my experience in sales and banking. But when I decided that I wanted to change, I actually went to the TV station and interviewed, and my sales manager told me, and I gave her the same story. I told her, I said, you know, I wanted to be a news anchor when I first graduated from high school. And she said, well, I'm gonna tell you something. She said, working in sales department, we make more money than they do. And when she told me that, I was like, well, I'm gonna stick with what I'm doing now. So, but it's really
That's what I said. I have kids all the time, so they want to make a lot of money, but they don't want to go to college. Well, get into
right.
sales. I mean,
Yeah, you can get into sales. Before I got my degree, I started working, like I said, I started at a retail store, then the bank, and every job I was building up that sales experience that I needed. And, because like I said, it really, every job you have, sales is implemented in some kind of way.
Absolutely.
And, you can still, I know people that don't have a college degree that are still making six figures working in sales. And so this right here, this is just another grid that we have for WLOO, and it also shows like some of the programming that we have on WLOO as well. So, and it's just, we got Chicago PD, Dateline, In the Heat of the Night. I mean, really, most of the programming that's on WLOO is kind of targeted towards maybe an older demographic, but the rates are very, very affordable on this station as well. But we still sell it, and it does really well.
Awesome.
It does. Yeah.
Now, before I get to some of the questions from the kids, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about your business, because you are an entrepreneur and you have some really cool products. But again, we have kids that want to be entrepreneurs. You may be able to make something cool. You may have thought of something nobody else thought of, but at the end of the day, you got to be able to market it and sell it. So how does that translate into becoming a successful entrepreneur as well?
Well, my thing is, I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur when I had a job. I was working like a regular 9 to 5 when I was in banking, and to sit there all day in a desk, it just really just drove me crazy. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I need the type of personality that I have. I need to be out. I need to, I don't like to just sit still. And so, as far as with, becoming an entrepreneur, is mainly also because of the being able to, make your own money and be your own boss. And like, even working for Fox 40, even though I do have a manager that I do report to, it's still kind of like I'm my own boss, because I basically set my own paycheck and I set my schedule. Yep. But, just being able to have just multiple streams of income and have my businesses, it was just something that was instilled in me, because my mother, she was an entrepreneur as well. She owned a restaurant. And I just feel like, watching her, that's how she supported her family. And so that was something that I knew I wanted to do, which is when I started out. I'm very creative and I like to make things. And I started out like making gift baskets. And then I decided, you know what? I want to like get into like making shirts and different things. And when I tell you, you just, practice makes perfect, because I still have some of the first items that I made. But it's like now my business does really well as far as with my t-shirt designs, and I do glasses, I do cups, I do purses, anything that can have a design put on it, I can do it. And it's like I get requests from people that I don't even know. I get referrals. I would say in the past 6 months, about 60% of my business has been from people that I did not even know. So
I got buzzed by the office. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, like I said, in the last couple of months, about 60% of my business has come from clients that I did not even know. Awesome. Because, the product. And then the thing about it with social media, we're in a day and time now that with social media, it's easy to market your business and post your work and just, know what's hot and what's selling at the, during that time. So that is what has helped me with that.
Yeah, and you make some amazing designs. I still have the shirt you brought us last year with Fee Lavish Collections is your company, and is extremely talented in what you do on that end. But I do want to get to some, and we'll let you plug Fee Lavish Collections before we get, so they can get the information, because
okay.
I do ask about some products. But I do want to get to a few of these questions, and honestly, they had some good ones, but you answered a lot of what they had, so that was crazy. You were almost like you were reading their mind.
Oh wow!
Now this is, and he actually just had to leave, but this is Christian Dawson, and he asked, how much time does it take daily connecting with new sales prospects?
Oh, wow. So basically, it can be an all-day process. Like yesterday, I normally set aside 10 o'clock in the morning to about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I go out and I have a plan, of course. I know which area that I'm going to target. So I go and, I spend that time just giving my business cards out. Now, in the process of, if there's someone that is interested, then I always have my laptop with me. So if I need to pull my laptop out and create a proposal for them right there on the spot, I can do that. But as far as like the time period, it really just depends on how soon it takes you to get someone that's going to be interested in what you are offering. But generally through the day, like 10 a.m. to 3 o'clock, that's my time to be out trying to prospect new business.
That's awesome. This is Robert Branson, and he asked, when you have a new client, what is the key objective you try to sell them on purchasing time?
The key objective that I try to sell them on is the fact that we're affordable and that this is, the exposure that it's going to create for their business.
Yeah, absolutely.
These are some good questions.
Yeah, along the same lines, this is John Taylor, and he asked, what determines, obviously other than the ratings increases, what determines the raise in prices on certain occasions?
Okay, so basically, like right now, our morning news generally would sell for $25 to $30 a spot, but because it's become so popular and the viewership numbers are rising, we're having to adjust the rate because it's like a supply and demand type of issue. So now, like anybody that wants to buy my my morning news, I would have to sell the rate to them for at least $40 for it to clear. And so like that's one of the ways that the prices fluctuate based on the availability that we have.
Yeah, and then it also helps when you have great news anchors. That morning team is hilarious. The kind of viral videos Patrick Ellis has that wind up on social media. I mean, I think that draws viewers in itself. And honestly, you can use that as a sales pitch for yourself because you're like, look, people are watching this guy in the morning because he's so good. More people are going to see your product. And then, and obviously, having just great professionals at night with Melissa and Dave and Dave Roberts. That's two great professionals as well. So a lot of people are tuning in. This is Danielle Brown, and she asked, when you interview for your job, how hard is it to get into this field? I'm trying to figure out a way to word this. How hard is it to get into this field? Like how many jobs are available when you are looking to interview?
Well, to be honest with you, it's, sometimes in sales, especially in the TV industry, some stations have a high turnover rate. And you know what, I'm gonna tell you a true story. So we are actually in the same building as WLBT, right? WLBT is the #1 station in the market, the #1 station. Everybody watches WLBT. That's our biggest competition. And we're in the same building as them. And that's really hard trying to sell that sometimes, but we have so many tools in place to kind of show consumers that we're actually beating them out in some areas. So as far as, give me that question one more time.
How hard is it, as someone interviewing for these jobs, how hard is it to break into it?
Okay, so with WLBT, they have, it's almost like we've had 2 of their employees to leave there to come work for us within the last year.
Wow.
Yes, it's all about and sometimes some stations have a high turnover rate. They don't keep salespeople very long because of the work environment. And so like right now, Fox 40, we're at our full capacity as far as with employees, but it's not really hard if there's an opening in the market. But like I said, it just really depends on the person. Some people, once they get into it and they realize that they've got to cold call and they've got to, have the personality, they feel like it's not a good match for them. So that determines that. But if you've got the sales experience, or even if you don't have the sales experience, there's training that is available, but it's all about how you present yourself and the confidence and personality that you display.
Yeah, the communication skills are so vital in just so many industries. Now, this is the last one from the students. This is Brian McMurtry, and this is a great question. He asked,
Okay.
are the majority of your sales calculated or are any of them just luck?
Actually, they are, I guess you could say they're a little bit of both, because what I never prejudge a client.
Yeah.
You never prejudge. And that was one thing that I had to learn not to do, because when I first started, I always had this, my mind frame was like, oh, $1,500, that's a lot of money for a TV schedule. They may not can afford it. Well, they not knowing that they are spending like maybe twice that much with WLBT. And so sometimes it can be pre-calculated, but a lot of times it's not, because we always have different things packages and sponsorship opportunities that we can sell the client to increase our commission or what they buy. Like, for instance, you may have a client that only wants to be in a 9 o'clock news. Well, 9 o'clock news, you sell them a schedule just for the 9 o'clock news for $1,000 a month. Okay, then we may say, okay, well, you know what? It's going to be Father's Day, so we're going to do a Father's Day sponsorship, and maybe they'll want to be a sponsor. Well, that package might be $1,500, and a client might be interested in that in addition to what they're already buying. So it's really kind of a combination of both, if you think about it.
Yeah, it really is. Now we're almost out of time, but a couple things before we go. First of all, tell us where we can find Fee Lavish Collections, because you do have some great products for sale, and I can attest, absolutely great work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So Fee Lavish Collection, I do have a Facebook page, and it's FE with the apostrophe LAVISH collection with a K on Facebook. And so I'm actually in the process of working on a website, and that'll be up and running probably within the next month, because I'm working on a website and a clothing line as well. And so I'm like I'm in the beginning stages of the clothing line, but I'm hoping to have it ready to roll out this summer, at the beginning of the summer.
Yeah, and I just put your info in the chat box for everybody to see. So hopefully you'll get some Facebook likes on that, because this is some great products. But before we go, let's, like we said at the beginning, the need for representation in this field is so needed. And I grew up, my mother was in sales as a realtor, and I only remember, growing up around here, I only remember one black agent ever that ever dealt with. Now there's a lot more now, and it's growing.
Right.
But when you think of sales, you always think of the old white men. But obviously that trend is changing. So why is it important for these, you're from Mississippi as well. These are young black people in Mississippi that are going to face the same obstacles, and they're going to have to deal with the same stuff. But yet you're just absolutely crushing it as a great professional. So what can they do to learn these same skills to be as successful as someone like you?
Well, my thing is, if it's something that they want to do, I would advise them to not be discouraged by the stereotypes of the past. Things are changing. We are in a new day and age. And my thing is, as a Black African-American female, I never said that I never limited myself. And a lot of people feel like, oh, well, Mississippi, there are a lot of negative things that are said about our state, unfortunately, but you can still stay here and have a decent living and make a really good life for yourself and have a good career. Sometimes, we kind of get discouraged by the things that we hear, but if it's something that you really want to do, have the persistence and the motivation to just exceed and just do it. Because, there's a world of opportunities out there. And again, like I say, times are changing. It's not, we're in a new day and time. So I would just encourage you, if this is something that you want to do, then, and always, I'm always available as a mentor. If there's any questions, like I'm not sure if you may have any seniors or in your class or that are,
ninth graders, but still.
Okay. But yeah, like even as ninth graders, if there's, I'm always available too, just like to mentor or encourage or share my experiences to help any way that I can. And I think you have my contact information, Greg. So if they have any questions or anything afterwards, tell them, please feel free to let me know. But just, you know, never give up on your dreams. Just always keep forward. You can be successful.
Absolutely. And you're a perfect example of that. You know, everything you get is more than deserved. And we thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us today, doing some great work, Fee Lavish Collections, and obviously over there at WDBD Fox 40. But again, thank you so much for joining us. Great information. And a lot of that stuff I did not know. So I love learning new things myself. So
Okay.
I love being educated as well. But thank you so much for joining us. I will talk to you soon, my friend.
Okay. Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
See ya.